Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here in MotoGP. Now, since the last episode, I think when I was stopping the recording I accidentally advanced a week, so we're straight to Mugello, but we have got a couple of notifications here then on the personal manager and the technical staff management. We'll look at the personal manager, so it's just a new candidate available. So obviously we had this one in reserve because, to be honest, they seem pretty good, so it's a good job to try and keep them. So we go across another A grade, not really much better. In fact, overall, probably lose points, so we'll refuse that one there then. And on the technical staff, who's it going to be? So it's a new chief engineer, so another Paul Jefferson applying for the job. So we lose points. We get a few points on the engine, to be fair, but we lose a lot on the frame. We gain a little bit on the aero, which is totally irrelevant. I mean, it doesn't particularly matter because, like I said, I'm probably not going to upgrade the bike anyway. And obviously the electronics, again, we lose points on that, and we haven't done that yet, so we're going to refuse that one there. So that leaves us with nothing else to do other than to head into Mugello, but we can quickly check the championship standings then, just to give a refresh of what happened in the last episode. So obviously, in the last episode, Marc Marquez managed to just beat us on the final lap after having an amazing battle with him basically for the entire race. He got away at the start, put about 1.6 seconds into the pack. I think he was about 2 seconds in front of me at one point. I reeled him in, and I just couldn't get around him. I was looking for a way around him for so long, but I just couldn't do it. I dived up the inside on the last lap, but he did manage to get back in front, so it allowed him to extend his championship lead to 19 points. Fabio Quartararo and Cal Crutchlow had some slightly better races. Obviously, they didn't get taken out by Rossi this time, so that puts Quartararo back up to 4th and Crutchlow back up to 6th in the championship. But that's basically what happened in the previous episode anyway. So then now we'll head into Mugello, and I'll see you in Q1. So we're here in Q1 then, and once again, for the third weekend in a row, we've got wet track qualifying. But the interesting thing is this time we've actually got wet track race as well, which actually means we still haven't had a dry race at Mugello in this career mode yet, because in Moto 2 and Moto 3 I think it was raining in both of them, and in MotoGP now it is wet track, so we still haven't had a dry race in Mugello yet, which is quite hilarious to think about, especially considering it's Italy as well, it's not Britain. So in Q1 this time then, Jack Miller and Franco Morbidelli, so Takaki Nakagami and Petrucci actually finally got through into Q2 instantly this time. So obviously with the race also being wet, I need to be a little bit more careful with the tyres I use, because I need to save a few for the race. So if we have a look at the different tyres we've got available then. So we've got soft or medium. Obviously I'm going to have to go for a medium rear, because a soft rear just isn't going to make it to the end of the race. Obviously we've managed to perfect a pretty good tactic so far with the whole wet qualifying. So I do a lap at the beginning of the session just to get myself used to the bike, because again it's been a while since I've played with it, and then I do a lap two laps right at the end of the session to try and go top of the session. So out here on track then, I was actually thinking that, oh, we've gone in a bit high into Puccini, we've gone in too high into Puccini, we've actually gone off into the gravel. That's not something you want to see on your very first corner of a qualifying session. But I was actually thinking coming into this weekend that we were going to struggle a lot, purely just because you need to get good exits out of some of these corners, and that's why we were struggling at Le Mans. We had the actual pace of Marquez, but I just couldn't get the exits out of the corners to challenge him into the braking zone. So we've gone very wide into San Donato. Obviously the front tyre pretty bad right now. So yeah, we were struggling massively to get past Mark, mainly just because the bike was wheeling out of all the important traction zones, so he was just getting a fantastic exit, and then I wasn't close enough by the next corner to have a look up the inside, which made it quite difficult. So we're 47 thousandths off in the first sector then, so we're flicking the bike over through Borgo San Lorenzo. So obviously we actually played Mugello yesterday in the historic challenges as well, which definitely didn't help considering I didn't win in that either, so I was thinking that on a worse bike like this, I'm definitely going to struggle. Oh, okay, we've gone down here in qualifying. I don't know if we picked up any damage. I think we have it. I don't think we have picked up any damage from that somehow. So I'm rejoining the circuit, we're going to watch out. But the lap's invalidated now. I think that's just because I cut, actually, but yeah, I suppose it doesn't particularly matter because this time doesn't really count for anything, so I can just carry on going around just to get a bit of a feel of the bike, of course. Not a good feeling right now, obviously, with that crash. It's the first time we've crashed in quite a while on this bike. I was starting to get used to it quite a bit. Tyres seem a little cold, which is quite stark contrast really to the dry weather here, where the tyres tend to get pretty warm. I think we've broken too late. We've broken too late for Quarantaro as well. I can't get the heat into these tyres on this lap here, so we've gone into the gravel twice. At Buccini and now at Quarantaro. We've also been on the floor at Civelli, and we've just messed up the Biondetti as well. So I think the bike does have some damage because it doesn't turn very well. Now, I mean, it doesn't turn great anyway, but it just didn't want to turn through the Biondetti at all. So I'm going to box, see if there's any damage on the bike, fix it, and then that'll probably be about time to go back out again, actually. So we're heading towards the pits then. Might have to put a little bit more fuel in than normal for our stint at the end, since you use more fuel as it is a track where you're on throttle for most of the lap. Yeah, so we did have damage. It took 4 minutes 50 to repair it, so that is probably going to leave us around the 5 minutes left. So if we have a look at the session then, 5 minutes to go. Jack Miller fastest with a 1 minute 50.1. Although there's still some AI that haven't done lap times yet, which is quite interesting. Although I suppose I haven't done a lap time yet either, technically, because I crashed. Those tyres are in pretty good condition, so I'm going to head out on those. But I am going to put an extra lap of fuel in the bike, just so I've got enough to go for 2 actual laps. It already feels a lot better with the amount of dryness on the circuit. So I like to get the tyres up to temperature on the first lap and then really go for a good lap on the second one. That takes us right to the end of the session usually. So I don't know who that is behind us, but hopefully they won't be going quicker than us. So as we go towards the first corner, then San Donato can be a tricky little corner, especially on this bike because it doesn't stop particularly well. But through San Donato we've got away with it. So Miller's time is now just updated, so it's a 48.2 to go beat now. That is a lot faster than what he did before. To Poggio Secco, sliding through. Down towards, I can't remember the name of this corner. Oh, we've done a massive stoppie going in, we've made a mistake again! I can't get used to this bike today. But that's allowed Paul Espargaro on the other KTM to go through. So that means everything is going to be on this last lap. So I might have to really not say anything, but we've made so many mistakes in this session. The bike just obviously doesn't want to work here. The tyres, look at the tyres, they're so cold. I need to really push on and just put some heat into them. So it is going to all come down to this very final lap, to whether we actually get through into Q2 or not. Should be the first time this season we don't get through if we don't, and I actually have a feeling that that's quite likely, because we have got to make it all work on this lap. So coming up towards the line then, Rabat's now gone top of the session, so we're 3.2 seconds off. That's actually not last somehow, so we'll go for another lap obviously right at the end of this session now. So we're 75 thousandths underneath Rabat's time. The front just folded there, but I managed to save it. So we're now nearly 2 tenths down, so we're losing quite a bit of time through that section. Still around the same amount down, so I don't know if this is going to be good enough to get through, because obviously we ideally would like to go top of the timesheets. Coming up towards the line, then out of Buccini. Is it going to be good enough to get through? No, it's not! Oh, so for the first time this season, we don't go through into qualifying 2. I could not get the bike to work at all in this session. Oh, it just felt atrocious, and the race is going to be like this as well. So finally, we don't meet our qualifying goal. We're going to start in P14 for the race here at Mugello. Ike Lecuona ahead of us, our teammate at qualifying us there. And Rabat and Miller both going through into qualifying 2. And Morbidelli bottom of the session, 51-0, so I don't know what happened to him. Perhaps he just struggled just as much as I did. At least we're not at the bottom of the session or anything like that. Obviously we are in 4th. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a damage limitation race, this one, I think. We really needed to beat Marquez this weekend, but that's not going to happen now, that's for sure. So we're going to have to really go for this. I might have to push a bit beyond my limits, but we've got plenty of tyres available to us. Obviously we only use that one set, because I thought that would be fine to get through. Usually after one lap they're fine. So let's head into the race then, and let's see if we can score anything decent. So we're down here on the grid then, and Marc Marquez on pole. It's exactly what we didn't need this weekend, especially with us starting in a slightly worse off, well, a really bad position. Rins alongside him then in 2nd position, and Quartararo then in 3rd place. So I'm not sure what's happened to Viñales. Perhaps he's on the 2nd row or something. But please, Fabio, please get in front of Mark. We need someone to beat Mark. I've gone for medium here because, to be honest, actually, the rear wasn't getting too hot, but usually at Mugello it does. So I've gone for a medium rear. I think a soft rear would probably rip up too quickly towards the end, but we need the medium front because the front is the tyre being pushed here. It's getting way too hot. So we're going to have to go for it off the line here. Hopefully we can find a little bit more pace in the race. We should be able to carve our way through. Perhaps beating Mark today is going to be off the cards, but trying to get to as close as we can to him, trying to get maybe a top 5 out of this race would not be the end of the world. But we've had our worst qualifying of our entire career. I'd like to at least get a top 10 though. That at the very least, top 5 would be fantastic, and that's what I really, really want, but a top 10 would be pretty good. So let's get this race started then, and let's just hope we can make up some positions on this first lap. We're going to need to. So then you can see the clear visors, you can see the riders' faces, and we really need to get something good here. So traction control 2, power mode 2, so wait for the lights to go out here, lights out and away we go. Have we got a decent start compared to Lecuona? Seems that way, but I've had to shift a bit early to stop the wheeling. Seems like he's not getting any wheeling problems, but we've got past him now, so we're up, well, we're still 13th apparently, so I don't know who's else got in front of us. Actually, we started 14th, didn't we? So we did gain a position, but we've dived up the inside into the first corner. We made up a few, up into 12th. We're back down to 14th on the power on the exit. San Donato there, side by side with the Aleix Espargaro, trying to go around the outside. Oh, the front tyre, awful grip there. That's allowed a couple of riders to get back up the inside, so we're back down into 12th. That's Jean-Mir looking at the inside, sneaking out of nowhere, but we're now in front of Rabat again, so we're up into 11th place on the slipstream of Aleix Espargaro. We can't quite get up the inside, just I haven't got enough confidence in that front tyre yet to brake late. See Valentino Rossi not too many places in front. We're getting the run on Espargaro, but it's not enough here. We're going to look around the outside into Casanova. No, I don't think so. Just at this point of the race, there is absolutely no grip, and I need to change my power mode back down to power mode 1. Don't want to be running out of fuel. We've got the run here. We're between Miller and Espargaro going towards the Arabiatas. We're still on the outside of Espargaro, around the outside. We tapped him a little bit there. It's a little bit of a dirty move, but it's so tight. Trying to fit through, but Espargaro's back through. Oh, Espargaro back through on the second Arabiata. So Aleix Espargaro on the Aprilia. Pretty good move there into Scaparia, trying to cover the inside because I know an AI love to dive bomb up the inside. Looking for a move again on Espargaro. Side by side, we got past him this time, so up into 10th position. So it's been a pretty good first lap. We've gained 4 positions. So we're into the top 10, which of course was our target. I'm looking at where Marquez is, and I think he's leading the race, unfortunately still ahead of Rins in second. So come on Rins, you need to do something, man. Please get in his way. So we go through the Biondetti. We're gaining loads of time on Jack Miller here in the slipstream as we go down towards Buccini corner. I'm going for the outside. I know obviously everyone keeps telling me to go up the inside, but I wasn't trying to pass him there, which is why I went to the outside, but I thought I'd say it so that you didn't think I was trying to overtake him. I don't know what the grip is here, because we had so much heat in that tyre, so quite why there was no grip, I don't know. But we're getting the slipstream on Miller. Mir is right behind us now, so will Mir come flying past us? Marquez leads, Rins second, Dovizioso third then. So we're 2/10 behind Miller at the start of this second lap. So we're looking on the brakes to San Donato, but we're just too far behind to do anything. Through Borgo San Lorenzo, then we're getting a good exit, but again, it's just not enough to get past Miller. Once again, we've got a great run through the Biondetti chicane. It seems to be the only section we're quicker, and we've gone around the outside, but again, I wasn't trying to go for a move. I've just gone a bit hot into Buccini. I was just trying to line up for the outside so I could get a bit of a better run, but we seem to have still got a better run than Miller, side by side with him. So we're only going to make up 1 position on this lap if we can get past him. Marquez, fastest lap of the race, 51.5. I do a 51.5 as well, so we've got the pace in the race, it seems. Crutchlow doing a 51.4. Come on, Crutchlow. We've outbraked Miller then towards San Donato. So next is another GP20 of Danilo Petrucci. Then it's Rossi, then it's Vinales. And then we can start having a look at who's ahead of them, but if we can actually catch up to those guys. So at the end of this lap, then what's Marquez done? Marquez has done a 50.6, I've done a 50.8, so I'm lapping a bit slower than him, but Vinales is going quicker, so it looks like we've got a bit of a pack like in Argentina. So Marquez with the 49.8 then, 50.2, so we are lapping a lot slower than Marquez at this point, and Petrucci is starting to get away from us as well. So at the end of lap 5 then, Marquez with the 48.7, 49.2 for myself, so I am getting quicker every lap, but Marquez is getting even faster every lap. Wow, Marquez has really cleared off, but we've dropped so far back from Petrucci now. We actually went slower than we did on the previous lap. So I think this is probably going to be the highest we're going to get now. So in a 48.2, so about a second faster on that lap. We're still 6/10 behind Petrucci though, so it's not going to be enough. Here we go then through Borgo San Lorenzo. We're so close to Petrucci, but it's just not going to be enough. I might have to do something a bit reckless to just try and get that extra position. Down towards Buccini. We are really closing up on Petrucci, but it's not going to be enough. We've got it way too wide into Buccini. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to beat Danilo here. But another lap, and we actually probably could have started to make some progress on these guys because they all slowed down. But Marquez wins, and it's going to be me coming home in 9th. That is the worst thing that could have happened to us here. I had absolutely nothing I could do this weekend. This bike did not work at this circuit. It was very anti-KTM, which means I know which kind of tracks we're going to have to watch out for. So Phillip Island, Silverstone, tracks like that just aren't going to work with this bike. Just long flowing corners, it just doesn't like them. I don't think the rain actually had been helping me in qualifying, But to be honest, the rain really didn't help in the race. It didn't help in qualifying here either, but the rain actually really didn't help us at this round. It really hindered me massively. The next highest KTM was 16th, which was a further 4 seconds back off me. But actually not too bad considering how bad they've been doing. Rabat ended up 23rd. But nobody could beat Marquez today. 3.3 seconds ahead of Rins in second. Dovi finally getting his championship back on track with a 3rd place there. Crutchlow in 4th place there. Quartararo 5th. Vinales in 6th. And Rossi in 7th there. Petrucci just ahead of us then in 8th place. Yeah, the championship then. Marquez is 37 points in the lead now. That's a massive amount. 53 ahead of Vinales. So we've still got a bit of a buffer back to Vinales there in 3rd place. 4th. For Dovizioso, 5th then for Fabio Quartararo. Nice drop back down to 5th. Rins, with actually quite a good race for him then, in 2nd place, moves himself up to 6th in the championship. Petrucci moves himself up to 9th. I'm guessing Rossi will move himself up, back up into the top 10 of the championship. In the team's championship then, obviously because of my poor race, we got massively outscored by Ducati and Yamaha, so we're down to 4th place now. Honda lead by 51 points, massive margin there. LCR Honda Castrol move up ahead of Pramac Racing as well, but Petronas actually moved down because Morbidelli, well, he started at the back of the grid and he actually ended up finishing behind me as well, so yeah, not a good race for Morbidelli. In the Constructors' Championship, and we hang on to 2nd, obviously it is the same gap again between me and Marquez, that 37 points. Yamaha then in 3rd place, 39 points back, so they are pretty close to us. Ducati there in 4th, 53 points back, so they could potentially beat us if we're not too careful, but an abysmal weekend here in Mugello, and to be honest, Catalunia's next, which is one of the AI overpowered circuits, so I'm not exactly looking forward to that one. It's going to be a difficult ride. I hope that it's dry actually, just so I can at least ride the bike properly, but we struggled so much. I think I did quite a good job to get 9th, considering where we qualified, we didn't do a bad job. Another few laps, it would have been okay. I actually caught back up to the pack in front. Dovi was starting to hold them up. I actually probably could have started making some moves if I had done a couple of laps, but yeah, I didn't really have anything to give. There was nothing I could do. So we'll head into the career hub then, and we'll see. We're probably not going to get much reputation. Luckily, we should still get paid because I think that it's a fixed salary regardless of what we get. So yeah, we'll head back and we'll see what we get from that then. So then we still do gain 4,900 reputation since we met the objective in the race. Obviously in qualifying, we didn't qualify inside the top 12, so we didn't get the objective for that. But we didn't lose any reputation for it. In Moto 2, we were losing reputation for not meeting the objectives, which I thought was a bit harsh, but yeah, we've not lost anything there for losing the qualifying objective, and we still gain the 4,900 reputation, which takes us up to 334,400. And yes, as I thought we did, we still get the credits regardless of finishing position. So we get the 32,863, which takes us up to 371,211 credits. So with no notifications then, I think that's the end of the episode. Usually I'd ramble on a little bit about the race and what happened in it, but to be honest, there was nothing. I overtook a few riders on the first lap quite hectically, got up into 10th, and then overtook Miller on the second lap, and that was it. Nothing, literally nothing else happened in the race. But obviously, like I said earlier, the next track is an AI overpowered track, so that really doesn't help. I'm guaranteed to not do great there. And we're 37 points down on Mark now, which is still a very achievable gap, don't get me wrong. As much as it seems bad now, it's not the end of the world, and obviously I can always upgrade the bike if we do start to drop too many points back. Until this race, we've had a really good season, so it's a blip on the report card, if you will. So I think that's where we'll leave it off for this episode then. So I hope you did enjoy that one, despite the fact obviously we weren't battling too much, there wasn't too much qualifying, so it's probably a little bit shorter than usual, so I do apologise for that, but you just get what you get with the races, to be honest. If they're interesting races, you can get a bit of a longer video, a bit more entertaining, more action. If it's a bit of a boring race, especially if I didn't even get into Q2, you know, you're not going to get quite as long. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.